She was just 17 years old, a peasant girl with no formal education. But Joan of Arc claimed she heard the voices of saints. She rallied armies, inspired kings, and changed the course of the 100 Years' War. Yet, history remembers her as a martyr, burned at the stake at just 19. But what if Joan had survived? What if she hadn't just saved France, but gone on to defeat England entirely? What would the world look like then? Let's rewind. The early 15th century was a time of chaos. The 100 Years' War had dragged on for decades, with England controlling large parts of French territory. France was fractured and desperate. Then came Joan, a shepherd girl from Domremy, convinced by divine visions that she was destined to lead France to victory. With incredible bravery, she lifted the siege of Orleans and helped crown Charles VII as King of France. But Joan's rise was short-lived. Betrayed by her own allies, captured by the Burgundians, and handed over to the English, she was tried for heresy and executed. But now imagine an alternate timeline. Joan escapes capture. She survives the war and lives to lead France beyond its borders. How would history change if Joan had defeated the English, not just on French soil, but by invading England itself? Freed from capture, Joan returns to rally the French forces with renewed strength. Her survival becomes a beacon of hope. Nobles who once doubted her now see her as a true leader, a unifying force for a divided nation. Taking bold steps, Joan orchestrates a massive counterattack, pushing English forces out of France, faster than in our history. But she doesn't stop there. With an unlikely alliance with Scotland, England's longtime enemy, Joan leads an invasion of northern England. Battles rage across York, Newcastle, and finally London. In this timeline, the Tower of London falls. The English monarchy is overthrown, and France emerges as the dominant power in Western Europe. What does this mean for the world? With England subdued, the Tudor dynasty never rises. The English Reformation doesn't happen. No Henry VIII, no Elizabeth I. Instead, Europe's political landscape shifts dramatically. France controls not only the continent, but also its future colonies. North America becomes a French-dominated land. The global balance of power shifts centuries earlier. And Joan? She isn't just a warrior. She becomes Empress, a living symbol of faith and female leadership in a male-dominated world. Her reign challenges the Church, inspiring new religious movements that empower women. Joan of Arc's real story was remarkable enough. But imagining what might have been reminds us how fragile history really is, shaped by chance, by choices, and by individuals brave enough to change their world. What if a teenage girl could have changed the world forever? What if her survival had rewritten centuries of history? I'd love to hear your thoughts. How would you rewrite Joan's story? Would she have united Europe, sparked new wars, or changed the role of women forever? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternate past, please like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow history lovers. Thanks for watching. See you in the next timeline.